All right, so how would you describe your general relationship with the Sunset as a neighborhood?
I love it. It's the avenues. It's where I come to relax, where I come to stretch out a little bit, get away from like the hustle and bustle of the city. I'm Daniel Stone. I was born and raised in the Sunset, just up the street.
My name is Ashley. I'm a San Francisco native.
My name is Vegas. I've lived in the same house in Sunset for 11, 12 years now.
I mean, the Sunset itself is quite special.
There's no rush. It's like a really good place to get away from the rush of the city. I think that's the best thing about the Sunset.
It's such a residential, small town feeling in the big city.
It was so open to painting experiences,
There's always a place in the Sunset for you to like sit on a corner,
It was a gray canvas, and we came with the buckets of paint, and we splashed it all over the place. Maybe that's what makes it special.
My whole life is that neighborhood, to say the least.
It's really home.
Everyone I know is there. Yeah.
And I love the Sunset. It's my home.
It's out there, we're part of the city, but we're not. So all the buses go there, the trains go out there on the last stop. We're always the last stop.
If you told me to think of the most neutral place in the world, the Sunset. I mean, it's not that it's bland. Sure, there's stuff coming, but gosh, when we were little, there was like nothing here. This place was a freaking desert.
I think it's really like the only residential neighborhood in San Francisco, excluding, there's a couple commercial blocks here and there.
It's a beach town, but really. It's suburbia, but not really. It's a city, not really. It's kind of this foggy blob. That is a quality of it that has never changed. You can feel it. Maybe it's even the fog itself. I've seen videos of Playland at the beach where it's a noisy amusement park. It still looks quiet.
It's the perfect mix of city life and a more laid-back atmosphere where you can kind of have space to yourself and like kind of have time alone, where in a lot of the city like you won't be able to get a second to yourself. It's full of like great people and good nice culture. Like we care about each other but not too much. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the essence of the Sunset.
I did not The past few years, obviously gentrification has been a topic in San Francisco. Do you think the Sunset has been affected by that?
For sure, definitely. Not as bad as some other areas.
Stuff has expanded and grown.
We got taller buildings propping up.
Prices have definitely been affected.
It feels like they're transplanting parts of the city. Like taking parts of downtown, like that super fancy pizza restaurant, and just plopping it on a random street. And then, wow, look, there's a really fancy restaurant right there. And then on both sides of it are like houses. San Francisco.
Like ever since Twitter opened their headquarters on Market Street, it has not been the same. Like, yeah, honestly, like that's one thing I can point to that has really changed the entire landscape of San Francisco.
And And yeah, that's a problem. You know, the people who live here who have to move, I know a few, because it's gotten too expensive. That sucks.
It's all just a culmination of what's happening downtown, what's happening with these jobs.
But that's happening because San Francisco. I don't think it's because of this neighborhood.
We've still maintained our roots as a community, and we've taken these changes with open arms. You can't walk down the street without saying hi to at least 3 to 4 people. You know, all of our friends that have left the area, a lot of them are still returning to the area. Like, sure, a couple people here and there have moved and left and are now gone. But the people that I do know that have left years ago, they have come back.
And I think it's one of the few areas of the city where it's still there. And I think a big part of that is just the beach. Yeah, it's still a beautiful place to live. And I mean, it's called the Sunset for a reason. Like, the sunset isn't going anywhere, you know? Like, you'll still be able to watch the sunset every day.
The sunset is more than a sum of its parts.
Because they know that importance of community, that family that they've established in that neighborhood.
Those people's perceptions of culture are what they made of the sunset. They created it. And, you know, when they're done, that will go with them, which is kind of cool. You know, a lot of places come with their own culture, but it kind of feels like you can just create your own here. You don't have to fit into anything. Whatever you do is correct. And that's kind of nice. It's very free.
I did not